Good morning. My name is Don Hadley with Applied Vision Works, and I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is so critical, and I think in these times of COVID, it's even more critical. I'm about to go into a meeting, and there's three words that I think are going to be key to the meeting. One is performance, the other is hard work, the other is tenure. And instead of tenure, I might even say experience. Johnny's had 20 years of experience with something. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I had a conversation yesterday, and it was actually pretty horrifying. There was a company that they were struggling. They've got employees, some are newer, some have been there 20, 25 years. And basically, the powers that be were going to be laying off people that had the least experience, that were the newer there. Younger people, typically, young families, etc. And as I look at that and was listening to the reasoning, I don't know there was a lot of reasoning. What they were saying is because somebody's been there a long time, they have tremendous value. But as we got talking about the ability of these people to perform and produce results, it was absolutely clearly that the people they've brought in the last 4, 5, 6 years are substantially better. And with that conversation, I'm like, well, we need to then focus on that and let people go that aren't as good at what they do. And one of the questions was, have you been developing these people that have more experience? Have you been giving them opportunities to learn? So the second horrifying thing was the fact that they really hadn't been pushing development. They'd been suggesting it. They do pay for some college education. They pay for other skill development at community colleges. They pay for courses that are both internal to the company as well as external. But they hadn't been making that part of the development. They hadn't been reinforcing it. They hadn't been highlighting heroes that do it. So as I looked at that, bottom line, what I said to them is, you're not going to make it. You're not going to survive as a company. You can go a year as a person or a team or a company not developing or learning new things. But at some point, you've got to be able to bring home the bacon, because you're competing in many cases against people in your locality, in your state, country. Some of y'all compete globally, and year to year you're okay probably not developing, but you get about 3 years out, the language, the terminology is different, the technology is different, the understanding of the outside world and what's going on currently, the capabilities of interacting with people, teamwork, communication are different. So I just have a very strong aversion to not focusing on performance. And I get someone that's got 20 years experience, if they're capable, if they've been continuing to develop, may not have to work as hard. It may be easier because they know out of these 8 things, these 2 are most important. Someone newer may be still learning that and having to work awfully hard. So I appreciate hard work, but hard work, busyness, tenure, experience, I don't value unless the product they produce as an individual or team has value. So I highly encourage you to make sure, number one, the message you're sending your culture is we value performance, and you as a person, by the way. I don't want to leave that out. And then secondly, in doing that, we want you to learn. We need you to learn. We expect you to learn and develop and train. One last thing I'm going to leave you with, 80% of our clients have a university internally to their organization. It may be somewhat informal or it may be very formal, but they do that and expect development and learning and training if someone's going to advance. Some clients say to their people, if you don't do some of this every year, we're going to be looking to replace you. So I say this not to be cruel, but to keep us all current. If I was doing today what I did 30 years ago, I wouldn't be in business anymore. Nobody would talk to me. I'm trying to learn how to speak 25 right now. I've got to learn. If I don't, those people won't want to engage with me, which means my organization has no value. So I appreciate your time, but I believe this may be the most defining element of American culture that we've got to focus on in the future is, what is it about performance? And it's times like COVID, other difficult times, that bring out our capabilities, not just to do things, but also to flex, to adjust, keep a good attitude through it all. Thank you for your time.